What's up, my brothers? We got a sponsored request from a gentleman whose topic says, finding a woman who pushes all of my buttons. So he says, I'm 32, divorced, and own my own business where I make over $500,000 a year. I've read your book a couple times, would appreciate some input. My ex-wife is a submissive and stable woman. She had genuine burning desire for me. That's chapter 3 out of my book. She was faithful, but we did not have engaging conversation and did not share many interests. Eventually, I felt suffocated by her and had to leave. My current romantic interest is super hot, smart, funny, playful, and flirtatious. She's an alpha type. Oh boy. Here we go. She maintains strong eye contact. We can have deep conversations, but still keep the romance alive. She keeps me on my toes, challenges my thinking, and overall keeps me much more engaged. The downside, here we go, is that she's a walking red flag. What do I keep telling you guys? You love complicating your life and then justifying why you do it, right? At first, I thought she was a good girl, he put that in quotations, with a lot of spunk, but slowly started to realize other stuff was going on. She craves attention from men and keeps in touch with a lot of male orbiters. As we talked more about our childhoods, I realized she definitely has daddy issues. In addition, I found out over the next few months that she lied about her age. She said she's 23 when she's 26. She lied about her job. She said she was a hostess. Well, she's actually a stripper. On top of that, she doesn't show a lot of genuine desire for me, although she does reach out and want to see me regularly. But overall, she doesn't seem like the type of woman I should be in a long-term relationship with. All right, well, let's see where this goes. And yet, I'm so attracted to her. For sure, the sex is great, but it's deeper than that. I'm emotionally and intellectually attracted to her. She's darkly magnetic, and so he's basically defining a siren. She's darkly magnetic and intriguing, and ways keep me wanting a lot more. I actually like who I am when I'm around her, more confident and more humorous. After reflecting on other relationships I've had, I feel like this is a common theme. The stable, submissive women who have high desire for me feel too easy for me after a while. I get bored and want to move on. The seductive, deceitful women who don't really care about me are dastardly attractive and make me feel alive. But my red flag radar goes off constantly and eventually pushes me to leave them. So what do I do? My head tells me that I need to let this woman go and find someone more stable, more truthful, and with more reciprocal desire for me. But my heart reminds me that every time I trade the crazy for the submissive one, I get bored. Are there any interesting women out there without red flags? Am I just addicted to drama? And what does this say about me, and how can I become a better man? So his ex-wife was submissive and stable, genuine desire, faithful, didn't have engaging conversation. So I didn't hear gorgeous, I didn't hear beautiful in the ex-wife. Although with the stripper, I get super hot. So obviously he's got more physical attraction. So is he addicted to drama, red flags? What does it say about me? And he's linked his social media there. So I've already taken a look at it. So let's hop on the road and get some thinking going on this one. All right, so the dude's question's basically, how do I find a gal that's got it all? Well, I'll deal with the submissive ex-wife and the stripper thing in a moment, but I think that as a dude, you have to get yourself to a point where you realize that a woman is not designed to tick off every single box for you. I think a lot of dudes make this immense mistake in their life and in their relationships, especially when they look for a longer term relationship, where they tend to like go for the, well, I want her to be beautiful and submissive and funny and hot and interesting and challenge me, and you know, we can have laughter together and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, yeah, so a lot of women make this incredible mistake themselves too, where they have this long laundry list of like 278 points they want guys to tick off in order for them to settle for them, to get into a long-term relationship. He's got to be masculine. He's got to be able to make money. He's got to be able to fix things. He's got to be funny. He's got to be good with pets. He's got to be humble. He's got to be da-da-da-da. And the list keeps going on. And I think a lot of guys make the same feminine mistake with women, where they expect women to do a lot of these things as well, where they end up essentially being their best friend, like they're everything, which is what, you know, the title of this guy's sponsored request actually says. And look, at the end of the day, women are very good at some things, right? They're very good at taking care of you when you're sick. They're very good at love. They're very good at affection. They're very good at making babies. They're very good at a lot of things, you know. Women generally have better culinary skills. They're often more tidier than men. But you can't expect them to be interesting and entertain you and have the same hobbies as you do and do the exact same stuff that you want to do all the time. It just doesn't go that way. That's not how long-term relationships are typically wired. I mean, in my humble opinion, at first glance, the way that I read your first line about your ex-wife is a better long-term relationship sort of partner than clearly the stripper is, and I'll deal with the stripper in a minute. The woman that you're looking for in a long-term relationship, you basically divorced, dummy. I hate to say it, but you basically divorced what is a genuine good woman, to be a complement to your life, if you want to have kids with her, sort of thing. Now, maybe she wasn't hot enough. Maybe she didn't like the same things that you did. Clearly, she didn't engage in many of the same sort of hobbies or interests that you have that you seem to find this stripper does for you. Those are things that you can do with your boys. Like, why don't you have male friends that you're doing fun, interesting things where they can challenge you and you can poke at each other and, shit talk each other and have fun and stuff like that? Why? You can't expect women to do all of these things for you. Similarly, women shouldn't expect men to do this list of 278 things as well. But, we're dealing with mostly dudes here on my channel. So that's the first mistake you've made, is you've got this preconceived notion in your head that she not only has to be beautiful, attractive, sexy, want to have sex with you, genuine desire, have great intimacy, hot, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff, but you got to be best friends. She has to have the same interests as you. You like fishing? I like fishing. He likes hunting? I like hunting. He likes fast cars? I like fast cars, right? Then you kind of like manufacture this entire, vortex of bullshit in your head that doesn't normally exist in most relationships. The best relationships that I know of, guys go out and they do the things that they find interesting on their own. They like wake surfing. Their wives generally don't. They like riding motorcycles. Their wives generally don't. Women like, fluffy pink things and, stuff that smells good and organizing and furniture. Like, men and women have different interests is what I'm getting at, right? So don't try to get her to conform to your interests. Now, while it's true that women will generally adopt your interests, flavors, tastes, political opinions, musical tastes when they're entering your frame, like, this will always happen. Guys will know this, and I've seen this myself many, many times, is, she'll start to adopt my political views. She'll start to adopt my musical taste. She'll start to adopt my sense of humor, the type of comedy that I like. That's fine. That's totally normal. But if you have a genuine interest in some sort of masculine fun thing, like, I don't know, let's say overlanding or snowmobiling. I'm out in the fields. I'm going skiing up over here to Blue Mountain right now. But, doing something like snowmobiling, a lot of women don't really have that kind of interest in that. Some dudes like to, take their gals on the back of the sled, or they'll get like, the pink version for them. But at the end of the day, I think you're asking too much of her. So that's dealing with the first part, the first problem that I think that you've overlooked. The second part is, look, every guy loves a little bit of crazy in their life. We love sirens. Sirens were these mythical creatures from the sailing days, and sailors would tell these stories of these beautiful sirens, these women, these mermaid things, these creatures that would sing these songs, and they had these beauties, and essentially, sailors would screw up their lives and smash the boat into the rocks and kill themselves, sort of thing, over the siren, which would distract them. So the notion of sirens has been around for a long, long time. It's like hard written into mythology. It's in scripture. It's in very, very old literature. Okay, so this is not a new thing that men like. But why would you leave a reliable wife who's in your frame, who has genuine desire for you, who doesn't look at other guys, other dudes are practically invisible to her, for a stripper who takes off her clothes for money for other guys to look at her? Yeah, of course she's got issues. Of course she's got daddy issues. She's a peeler. How many strippers do you know that don't have daddy issues? It's like a daddy issue factory. Okay, this is where they go, and they put them out to pasture. Little girls with daddy issues end up in strip joints. They're on the poles with the clear heels. This is where they end up. So thinking that, it's a good idea to invite a woman that takes off her clothes in front of other dudes that throw them money, that often sometimes pay them for sex, is a good idea, is like a really good mate choice. Bad thinking. Yeah, there's something wrong with the coconut between your ears. You're not thinking straight, and you know you're not thinking straight. You don't need to send me a request and pay to sponsor a video for me to tell you you're not thinking straight. You know you're not thinking straight. It's a dumb move. You know it's a dumb move. You said so yourself in your request. So you don't need me to tell you that. People in the comments right now, dumbass move, buddy. Why'd you leave your good wife? Da 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 da. You're going to start seeing that popping up. But look, you know, like I said at the kickoff, men are masters of complicating their lives and then justifying why they do it. Recognize it. Stop doing it. Look, there's gals that you can have fun with. If you don't want to be married, if you don't want a woman to complement your life, if you don't want reliable, then don't get married. Spin plates, date a bunch of women, have some recreational fun, date strippers if you want, you know, but you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I don't know how many times I've said this on my channel and podcasts and podcast interviews. Stop trying to turn hoes into housewives. They don't make good housewives. They're going to destroy your life. If they don't destroy it completely, they're going to ruin it to some degree, and you're going to have to fix it and pick up the pieces of all the dumb choices that you've made. But at the end of the day, you're going to have nobody to blame but yourself. So, with that being said, I'm sure some of you guys out there have done something stupid like this at some point. Look, I've dated some questionable women with some questionable pasts that do some questionable things, you know, in their day-to-day lives. We've all done it. Just don't do it. Recognize that you're doing it and don't do it, right? Like, how many times do I have to say this, guys? Chase excellence, not women. If you want to have better access to more beautiful women that are going to be reliable, that are going to enter your frame, that are interesting, then you need to level yourself up. I'll be honest with you. So at the start, you said that you run your own business, you make $500,000 a year. I clicked through on your social media, and I'm looking at a man that is showing me a 20-year-old busted-ass Japanese wagon falling apart, and proudly proclaiming that they got all these miles out of this car. That's not what world-class entrepreneurs do. I don't know if you make $500,000 a year in your business, or if you're paying yourself $500,000 a year from the profits of the business, but to me, you've got some room to grow based on the life that I see you broadcasting to the world on your social media. You're capable of so much more. You just have to apply yourself to achieving so much more, rather than inviting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you know, Coco the peeler into your life. Don't do it. Stop doing stupid shit. You know what you're doing that's dumb. You know how it's got negative consequences. You know how it could potentially ruin your life. Take that effort and energy and reinvest it on yourself, on your business. You know, put it into your own life. Put it in your life so that in such a way that you don't disparage yourself on social media and say, oh, it looks like my car is about to die after 300,000 miles, but I sure squeezed the life out of this one. That's not impressive to any woman out there. You know, it's just reality of life. I'm just calling it like it is, man. Anyway, leave some comments below, pinned in the top comment. If you want to make a sponsored request like this one, like request a video like this, there's a link to show you how to do that. Links to my book, my website, and all the other stuff. Check it out. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.